Hi, my name is Kay. I'm a poet and a writer, and on this channel I do reactions to K-pop videos, mostly to BTS, and specifically I do lyric reactions. Today we're gonna go over the video and the song that first got stuck in my head. The first one where I was just like, can't get this out of my head. All day I was singing it to myself, just the part I knew. Today we're going to be watching the Kinetic Manifesto film for BTS's On. This is so cool, and this is one of those that, like, I feel like whether or not you're a BTS fan, you can acknowledge just how good they are from this. Like, their dancing is so good, so powerful. I wish they hadn't been ready to present this just the moment before the pandemic started, because you know, like right when they were like fresh with it, they would have had some killer performances. And now they've been putting out some really good performances too. Not to say that, but when it was like fresh for them, when they had just learned it and they were super excited, the performance they did in Grand Central Station was fire. It was so good. And to see like more of those when they had practiced so hard for this, like it is unfortunate with the timing, and like obviously there are worse things than that came out of 2020, but like, oh, they did such a good job with this. So I'm just very excited. I'm watching this one because the dancing is my favorite. I love BTS's dancing so much. But we're focusing on the lyrics, so we're gonna be pausing a lot to enjoy the lyrics. Here we go. Let's just jump into it. BTS On. I'm so psyched for this. I heard that the girl front and center is the one who choreographed this, that one. If that's true, she's so young! Good for her! So this is kind of a story song. So already they're setting up this confusion, this like, I don't know who to follow, I don't know where I am, I stand up unsteady, this like kind of dazed confusion. Ooh, I fly together with that black wind. Okay, but I know I always love RM so much, but he's saying, you know, look down at my feet, and the shadow down there resembles me. So I'm looking at my feet, seeing my own shadow. But then also, this came off of the Map of the Soul 7 album. The idea of shadow is very prevalent in that. And I'm going to eventually do the entire Map of the Soul like rap trilogy and talk about that and get into like the Carl Jung philosophy and all of that. I'm learning it. Honestly, if you're interested, DKDK TV did a phenomenal breakdown of all of the songs. But the shadow is kind of the internal self, as I understand it. Kind of the thing you're trying to hide is the shadow. So the dichotomy is definitely supposed to be in this. You're supposed to take it as both the physically looking at the shadow and also looking at that like internal part that you're trying to hide. And then the next part he's asking is the shadow shaking itself, or am I shaking, like are my feet trembling? And then he says, of course I'm not afraid, and of course it's not all okay. And I just did Blue and Gray, and that feeling of like it's not okay coming back around. But then again, I fly together with that black wind. So like, however unsteady, however awkward. Is this not the same album as Black Swan as well? Like spreading your wings and flying, even if something is painful. Okay, we're gonna stop it before we'll go back. So that is the part that gets stuck in my head. The hey na na na. I love that. I'm not a good singer, you may have noticed, but gotta go insane to stay sane. So this whole album is talking about the dichotomy of the spirit, basically the Jungian theory. the idea that you have the persona is the outward facing, your shadow is your inward self that you're trying to hide, and bringing them both together and like kind of reconciling is where you get the ego from. And that's, you know, the rapper's 3 songs in that one. Again, we're bringing the dichotomy of the two things together. Gotta go insane to stay sane. Throw myself whole into both worlds. And in this, you could take it as the real world and the fake world, or as real life versus celebrity life. Like, you could take it in a lot of different ways, but throwing yourself 100% into either one. The main repeating, can't hold me down because you know I'm a fighter. When I first showed my mom that, she was like, they're way too pretty to be like fighters, like warriors. But there's the internal fighter too, the someone who always gets back up again, who no matter what struggles they've gone through, they've always continued to push forward and give it their all. Carried myself to this beautiful prison. So you think about like anything being a prison, like trapping yourself inside. I brought myself here, and it's beautiful. Like, that's an interesting like contrast of ideas. Like, a prison you think of as a bad thing, but it's a beautiful prison, which could be celebrity life. I think definitely the way they talk about like their idea of what the persona versus the shadow is. Celebrityism, being famous, is a beautiful prison. It's the thing they brought themselves to. They wanted to get here, even though it is a prison. So throughout the chorus, they're talking about bring the pain on, like no matter how much it hurts. Rain can fall, the sky could fall, but bring it on. Like, I'm not afraid, I'm ready for this, I brought myself here. Oh, okay, and so Hobie sings Ego in the Map of the Soul series, and so his part is very much like that. Like, bring the pain, it'll become my flesh and blood. He'll become a part of me, it'll become the main part of me. And he's not afraid now that he knows the way. I like my air and my light in the dark. So the pain, like going through struggle, not necessarily like physical pain, sometimes even emotional pain, or sometimes just struggle can be pain. That can be the thing that still gives you life. In terms of BTS in this song, practicing really damn hard to be able to pull this off, to be able, they said they didn't even know if they'd be able to sing and dance it. It's so intense. But they learned, and they pulled it off in like, what, a month I think they learned this dance? Insane. I love that part. Even if I fall to the ground, as long as my knees don't get buried, it won't matter. As long as I can get back up again, as long as my knees aren't so buried that I can't get myself back up, it won't matter that I fell down. Good stuff. Censored. I know I keep stopping on those beats because I've got to stop often because otherwise we'll get copyright strikes. You could also think about the like throw myself fully into both worlds, the sane and the insane. Like, gotta be a little bit crazy to be in this field. Gotta be a little bit crazy to push for your dreams. But you also have to keep with the realistic side. So throw yourself completely into the sane and the insane. Did anyone else, I feel like everyone when they first hear Jungkook sing assumes there must be auto-tune on his voice. I've seen other people who just assumed there was auto-tune. When I first heard that part, I was like, oh, they must have auto-tuned that. And then I heard, it was not even like a him behind the scenes singing. It was like he was just singing in the background. He was just practicing his part in the background. Some other, I can't even remember which one it was. But he just sang that like that. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He can just do that. Like, that's not putting something on his voice or anything. Like, I think they put some echo on his voice or something, but like they did not auto-tune it. And then he also, in the James Corden, the carpool karaoke, he just sang it like that also. And it's just like, boy can really like pull it off. But I think also they've had like interviews with producers they've worked with. They were just like, it's wild. Like, he can just do that with his voice. He can just auto-tune his own damn voice. It's weird. No, it's like impressive. So I think I certainly did assume, but I'm here to let you know. I know that he can just sing that because I've heard it multiple times when there wasn't anything put on it. So the boy can just make those noises. That's crazy. His voice is very good. Anyway, I was supposed to be looking at the lyrics. The song is so impressive. Like, every time they get to the dance parts, I'm like, oh, just go. Okay. So he's talking about like where my pain lies, my blood and my blood and tears, blood, sweat, and tears coming back in. I was basically saying, like, with all these things, I'm not afraid. Like, that's what his part is. And of course, when it's Jungkook saying I'm not afraid, you believe it. The boy's got no fears. He is taking over. Oh, okay. So this is another one that BTS does really well. Well, they'll take the line that's been repeated and it like they're so good. They always have like a turning point in the song. And the turning point, very often they'll do what they just did here, where they take the repeated line and they switch it up on you just enough so the meaning is like vastly different, but the actual like sound isn't very different. Like, it's a subtle change. It's the same cadence, but instead of I'm gonna live with you, I'm gonna bleed with you. But also the line right before that, choosing to descend into the dark abyss. Great stuff, great stuff. Choosing to descend into the dark abyss. Like, again, like, I chose this prison. I came here. I'm going for this. A dark abyss, you don't know what's in there. You don't know what's at the other end. I'm choosing to descend into that. And then find me and I'm gonna bleed with you. I love that. I love when they do those changes in the lyrics. I'm not as familiar with all K-pop, but I see it in BTS songs like constantly and not in a lot of other ones, where they always have that turning point where something gets switched on its head slightly. And BTS songs, almost always, the energy rises at the end. They'll have like their most complicated dance steps at the end of the song rather than towards the beginning or the middle. Like, they'll have their climax and then it comes back up again for the end for some big finish. Like, they never let you just get bored and like turn off the song early, because it always changes after the climax. There'll be a turn and then it'll ricochet back up to the ending. Like, they always have some kind of a twist to the lyrics where everything becomes different, and usually the song will have a dramatic change in it, whether or not it's a change in cadence or just a change in the tone or something. Like, there's always that change in the BTS songs and I love it. But here, we're gonna bleed with you. I'm gonna apologize deeply, but because I'm afraid of the copyright strikes, I did cut out the entire incredible dance break. Please, please, please click the link below and go and watch it for yourself. But I just didn't include it in order to avoid copyright strikes. So please go check it out. It's so good. It's worth watching 17 times. Just put it on a loop. It's so good. So good. We're definitely gonna get into more of the Map of the Soul songs just because they're all incredible. But this one in particular, like, really talks about like that shadow and that still going for the dream. I love the repeated line that like, can't hold me down because you know I'm a fighter. And that's really like BTS likes to send the message of like what they're going through. And yeah, it's true, especially up to this point, like you can't hold them down, you can't stop them. And of course, this was the very beginning of 2020 and we've seen where they've gone from there. All uphill for BTS, honestly. But like, if they're gonna keep putting out bangers like that, I mean, can you call it a banger if it's just like a masterpiece, like a work, like that's a work of art. The dance is incredible and hard, and the song is powerful and interesting lyrically. Oh, I love the, like, even if I fall on my knees, it doesn't matter as long as they're not buried. Like, come on. What did you think of that song? Do you also just want to gush about On With Me? Because I think it's fantastic. I really like that song. That was one of the first ones by BTS that I saw and was just like, damn, you're right, they're really good. I think really early on, before I got into them, back in 2020 when my friends were trying to get me into them, but I wasn't like into them yet, I think I was shown this one when it first came out and I was like, yeah, you're right, that's very talented, like very cool dance. And I thought about the dance a lot, but I kind of didn't listen. Of course, Dynamite, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, hilarious. And then I saw the Fake Love performance and was like, damn, they're really good. And that was long before, like that was just all sitting in the back of my head. And when I came back around to finally being like, ah, BTS, and the obsession began, those were the videos that I came back to and was like, I just need to fully appreciate, like this one never gets old. None of their videos ever get old to me, honestly. Like every time I watch them, I'm like, they're really good actually. They're really, really good. All their music is really good. Like there's a reason that they're so popular. Like there's a reason I like them so much. But this one in particular, like, I would be happy showing this to strangers on the street and being like, what do you think? Like, you could never be embarrassed by a group who goes this hard, you know? Like, it's not loving a boy band when they're going to come out with work like this, where I can just be like, do you even like stop and take in the meaning of those lyrics? Like, that's powerful stuff. That's deep stuff. And it sounds good and it looks good. Like, they really are a whole package. And that's why I'm here doing a whole bunch of videos about them. Like, I can't get enough, honestly. Everything they do is really good because they work really hard at it and it shows and it's fantastic. That's enough gushing, I think, probably. I will go ahead and just leave you there with that. What do you think about this one? What other dance songs, like big dance number songs, because I'm in the mood for some more like big dance numbers. I know I need to look into EXO for that too, but big dance number songs that you think I would really like that have really good lyrics also. Which other BTS songs should I look into as well? Let me know in the comment section down below. I post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and be sure to like and subscribe if you like this kind of reaction video, or if you want to see if I ever post anything that isn't BTS. I have already and I'm going to be posting more, but there will also be lots more BTS, because how can we avoid them when they're making music like this? Alright, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!